This is a sad, almost depressing story of a big cat driven to extinction by a delusional dictator in the name of progress. The most handsome tiger that there are some records of it having blue coats. Will this tiger recover from this genocide? Well, watch this video until the end and let me know in the comments. So let's begin. The South China tiger, scientifically known as Panthera tigris amoyensis, which means the hunting cat from Amoy or Xiaoping, is the most basal subspecies of all tigers. It represents the closest living link to the ancient ancestor from which all modern tigers evolved, having diverged approximately 72,000 years ago. This remarkable cat once roamed the mountains and forests of central and eastern China, displaying unique adaptations that set it apart from its larger cousins. Among tiger subspecies, it holds the distinction of being the smallest of all mainland tigers. Adult males typically weigh between 265 to 330 pounds, while females were more modest, at 220 to 265 pounds. Their body length ranged from 6.5 to 8 feet, with the tail adding another 2 to 3 feet, perfectly balanced for their acrobatic movements through the steep terrain. Perhaps most striking was their distinctive appearance. The South China tiger possessed the shortest intervals between stripes of any tiger subspecies, creating a unique pattern that helped them blend into the dapple light of their forest home. Their orange coat was typically darker and more vibrant than any other tiger, often taking on a deep, rich hue that distinguished from their relatives. Adding to their unique features was the smallest skull size among all tiger subspecies, an adaptation that may have allowed this greater agility and access to smaller prey dens. This skull shape is what makes this tiger look quite unique from other mainland tigers. They look handsome with those cheekbones like they've been mewing or something. But a fascinating chapter in their history involves the reported sighting of a blue-tinged tiger by a German missionaries in the early 20th century. While no blue tigers have ever been scientifically confirmed, the sighting sparked interest in potential genetic variations. Scientists now understand that such a color variation will require a specific mutation in the genes controlling melanin production, similar to the mutation that causes blue coat color in some domestic cats or the inbred zoo tigers. However, no evidence of such mutation has ever been found in wild tigers. Their hunting prowess was legendary, particularly in mountainous terrain where the smaller size became an advantage. These tigers developed specialized techniques for stalking prey on steep slopes, demonstrating exceptional agility and balance. They could navigate near vertical cliffs and move silently through dense bamboo forest. Their prey selection reflected their mountain-dwelling lifestyle, focused on species like muntjac deer, serow, wild boar, and various smaller mammals. They developed unique hunting behaviors, including specialized techniques for dragging prey up steep slopes and catching kills in locations inaccessible to scavengers. The genetic distinctiveness of the South China tiger reflects the ancient lineage and unique adaptations. Originally had 3 distinct populations across China. Each population showed local adaptations to different ecosystems before the genocide and have the smallest genetic distance to the Indo-Chinese tiger, suggesting close evolutionary relationship. Their genome shows specific modification for enhanced oxygen utilization at higher altitudes, modified muscle fiber composition for climbing, and unique metabolic adaptation for their subtropical habitat. These genetic markers makes them invaluable from a conservation perspective. These magnificent cats typically had a gestation period of about 100 days, slightly shorter than other tiger subspecies, possibly an adaptation to their mountainous habitat's seasonal resources. Females will typically give birth to 2 to 4 cubs, although litter of up to 6 were occasionally recorded in optimal conditions. Tragically, this remarkable subspecies is now considered functionally extinct in the wild. And before I get into this tragic story, I have to be honest with you. Haiwan is a small channel that wants to shed light to all animal species and their subspecies, in which there is no other animal channel on YouTube that does that. With your precious 5 seconds to subscribe and like, this channel can grow and reach more people so that I could shed light to these amazing animals. Thank you very much. 1,000 blessings to you and your loved ones. The devastating turning point for these tigers came with the rise of Mao Zedong's China. Before 1949, the species thrived with an estimated population of over 4,000 tigers distributed across 3 major regions in China, representing one of the most successful tiger populations in Asia. However, the launch of Mao's Great Leap Forward and subsequent campaigns marked the beginning of their systematic elimination. The government established a bounty system paying hunters up to 30 yuan per tiger killed, a significant sum at the time that incentivized widespread murder. The cultural and political dimensions of their destruction were particularly cruel. Tiger pelts became prized diplomatic gifts during the Mao era, adding a political imperative to their slaughter. The statistics are horrifying. In the 1950s alone, an estimated 3,000 tigers were killed, representing the near-complete elimination of some regional populations. This organized genocide was carried out with chilling efficiency, with hunters using everything from traditional traps to modern firearms and poisons. The last officially verified wild sightings of a South China tiger occurred in Guangdong province in 1970s, marking the effective end of their existence as a wild species. This represents one of the fastest population collapses ever recorded for a large predator, taking just 2 decades to go from thousands of individuals to functionally extinction in the wild. Modern conservation efforts have faced numerous challenges. The species have never successfully bred in captivity outside China, a limitation that has severely hampered international conservation efforts. This unique breeding difficulty appears both linked to both behavioral and genetic factors, with the species showing specific environmental requirements for successful reproduction that have proved difficult to replicate in captivity. The current genetic health crisis facing the remaining captive population is severe. All living South China tigers descended from just 6 wild founders, creating a devastating genetic bottleneck the natural world has ever seen. This has led to numerous health issues, including weakened immune system, reduced sperm quality in males, higher infant mortality rates, skeletal abnormalities, reduced fertility in females, heart defects in which are more common than any other tiger subspecies, and various congenital defects. The lack of genetic diversity poses an extensional threat to the subspecies' survival, as they lost approximately 30 to 40% of their original genetic diversity, with each generation showing increasing signs of inbreeding depressions. Conservation efforts have been complicated by political and practical challenges. Several attempts to establish breeding programs and reintroduction initiatives have failed, hampered by limited genetic diversity, lack of suitable habitat, and insufficient international cooperation. The Chinese government's efforts to protect the species came too late to save the wild population, and current conservation programs struggle with the limited genetic material available in the captive population. While exploring possibilities for eventual reintroduction, though the prospects remain dim, The loss of wild behaviors and genetic diversity makes any future introduction extremely challenging, even if suitable habitat could be secured. So, tell me, is it over for the South China tiger? Or there is hope with the magic of science manipulating, editing the genes to be more resilient? But my idea is just simple. Instead of having purebred inbred South China tigers that are likely to go bye-bye, we can have South China tigers who are about 75% South China tiger and 25% Indo-Chinese tiger, in which its closest cousins could bring fresh genes into the bloodline and improve the stock. So tell me in the comment, what do you think? And before you leave, there's the last island tiger you would love to learn about, or the largest tiger that hunts bears. Feel free to have a look, and as always, stay curious, stay wild, and thank you very much for watching.